What's up everyone and welcome to Homebrew Subaru. I'm getting into some brake work on this Honda Ridgeline that I've had in recently, doing the lights in it. And I've already gone to the front and unseized some caliper pins. I am actually replacing all this stuff, the rotor, the pads, the caliper. The pads have actually gotten low. I'm just going to whip all this stuff off and we're going to get right to the brake shoes. So I've just gotten this caliper off, and the lower bolt you guys might have a little trouble with. It sits right in here, and this space in here isn't really suitable to get a 6-point socket even, and then a ratchet or, you know, your gun. Maybe a flex socket would work in here. I didn't bother trying, but I just ended up using a double wrench down to the floor and then pried on the end of the double wrench to crack that loose. Might give you an idea not having the right tools. And then sometimes these little tapered block screws can be stripped, seized, not in there at all. And this is the tool to try and get them out. But sometimes you just go to unthread them and they just unthread. But this is what you would call an impact driver. It goes in there, you snap the end, you kind of lock it into a position counterclockwise to loosen. You hit the end with the hammer and it shocks the screw or bolt and also turns it at the same time. So that's a great tool for getting that stuff out. You should have one of these in your toolbox if you're a tech. Now that I'm all set up here, you can see the shoes aren't actually that thin, but it's at the point where we're doing the rest of the brakes. It's the best time to do it. Replace some of these old springs. You can see they've even got that factory touched pink paint on them. And these backing plates, get some of the rust off of them. Try and clean them up a little bit, because disturbing stuff in here is, you know, going to make this stuff flake off, get caught in the rotor or something, cause a squealing noise later. So I got to address that a little bit. But we'll start with the springs, and I'm going to basically be using just regular tools you might have lying around. Try not to use anything too special to do this. Now, removing these top springs, this is generally going to be the best tool for you in the shop. If you want to get these off, easy enough to hook onto there. You can put that clawed end right onto the shoe without causing, you know, very much damage. Because I'm going to tell you, those teeth do dig in. But I mean, that's the tool to be using for those. But I'm going to be using a pair of side cutters. And in a couple of my other videos, one or two of them, people are saying, oh no, you can't do that. You're cutting into the spring. If you're cutting into the spring with these, then you're gripping it too hard. Okay? Simple as that. Now, I will tell you, you do need to take some care, because these, you know, grabbing a hold of this with some side cutters, it's easily slipped. I mean, I could slip and bash my elbow, cut my knuckles on the backing plate, all sorts of things. So you want to make sure you have a really good grip of it. Get a second hand on there and then just pull it off. And this one in here, because that little ear piece is down in here, I'm going to try and grab it here and just push it forward. Something like that. There is a ton of tension on these guys. Make sure to be careful. Next, we'll go and remove these retaining pins and springs, and Honda's even provided a little slot in the hub so that we can get our tool in there and work with it. Now, this other brake spring removal tool is the tool that I would generally use to do these, but I'm going to use some needle nose pliers. And we'll just grab a hold of this outer disc, and while holding the pin on the other side, the back side of the backing plate, we're just going to give this little retaining ring or disc a little turn, and it pops right off. There's a spring. We got the pin out the back side, and you can actually see how rotten that pin is. Now, this is all kind of coming apart, and I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's all being replaced, but you want to make sure you kind of take note of how the adjuster goes in. And then you can just start undoing that lower spring. So go ahead and get this retaining pin on the other side. Same thing here. I'll just come on the back side of the backing plate and hold that pin. And then I'll grab this disc with my left hand. It might be a little bit more difficult. And just give that a turn until it comes off. You see that pin's really rotted too. They weren't long for snapping. And then that shoe will come right off, leaving us the shoe on the parking brake lever with the cable hanging down. And then we got this little guide plate on top, and it comes with a little spring as well. All right, now for this horseshoe clip, which could be a reason why a lot of people are coming here. These things can be a bugger and not easy to deal with. So we have a new horseshoe clip to go on here, and it's literally just getting this one off. Kind of give it a turn like this. I'm going to try and turn it towards the shoe. It might be difficult to see there. I might have to crop in quite a bit. And then if I can just get the side cutters to kind of get underneath of this thing a little bit and just start prying up the ears of that horseshoe clip, eventually I'll be able to get underneath of it and just start peeling it off. Maybe easier said than done, but this is the way to get her off. Then just keep on grabbing it a little lower, and then you can get another real good pry on it and turn. I actually just broke it off there. But that's all good, because once the shoe pops off that lever, that's all we need. So I'm going to clean up the backing plate a little bit, lube up these little saddles for the shoes, and then start thinking about going back together. So we're ready to go back together, and I'll start by putting this shoe back on. It just sits in the lever like that. You can't actually put it on the other way, so don't worry about putting it on backwards. The new hardware kit comes with a new horseshoe clip, but it also comes with a new wavy washer. And in my preference, personally, I don't put those things back on. If someone's going to try and fail, a vehicle for safety because it doesn't have a little wavy washer in there, they're fucked. But now I've got that horseshoe clip just started on there, and I'll take the side cutters and just gently squeeze that on all the way in place. And then once it's on all the way, I'll try and take my side cutters to the ears and squeeze that clip closed. And yeah, it's possibly might slip. And it's a hard squeeze, so be prepared. And then I'll take a new pin, and I'll kind of just toss it into the back there and grab this shoe, turn it around, and just bring it up into place. Just sit it there temporarily, kind of thing. We still got her hole pretty much lined up here with the hub. Now, this can be a little tricky and frustrating, I'll tell you that. But just sitting this all in here, and even sometimes the original hardware isn't that good of shape, and it's a little easier to put on. But just the same way we took them off, I'm going to kind of grab a hold of that, holding the pin on the back side, and then just giving this a little turn until it locks. And I mean, it's tricky. It's not easy. They literally, with some of this aftermarket stuff, don't make the pins long enough, or they make the springs too long. Because I mean, that spring is heavily compressed right now, holding that all together, and that shoe is literally seated on the backing plate right now. So be prepared to slip a few times and take a few attempts to get that on. Before we get that shoe up in place, we're just going to take that little guide and sit it up in there with the new spring on it. We'll probably have to do quite a bit of rigging around to line that up later, but not too big of a deal. New pin to the back of the backing plate. Turn our hub so that it kind of lines up. Helps a little bit. Now this is where things can get a little tricky, and you almost need a third hand. But I'm holding the shoe with my thumb. I'm holding the back side of the pin with my middle finger. And then I'm just going to take the spring in that retainer and kind of sit it there so that I can have my thumb just hold it temporarily. And yeah, this is going to probably jump around a little bit, and then the same idea, just grab a hold of that retaining disc. Now I'll be honest, this is not easy, just because this backing plate is so wide that I'm really stretching my hand around here just to be able to hold everything. I mean, it's not ideal. And I'm just going to try and get enough just so I can grab a hold of this with the pliers. This is my left hand too. This is not going to be fun. You want to get your thumb out of the way, because if you slip, it's going to be bad news bears. But even if you can just kind of wiggle the pin to it, you see what I mean? Maybe I'll just kind of let go of that pin just for a second, just so I can get a good grip on this. Maybe I can turn this pin so it lines up. And just give that retainer a turn. And I tell you, that is not easy. I kind of made it look easy there, but you might have to fight around with that. That may jump around a lot. But now that we got the other shoe on, we can kind of line up this guide plate at the top because it's, you know, way out of position. And then just start lining the shoes up to where they need to be up on this pivot. And we can start thinking about this lower spring and the adjuster now. Okay, now here at the bottom, we're just going to take the adjuster and just kind of put it up here temporarily in place. We can pull the shoes together a little bit, just to kind of hold it there temporarily. And then the spring, just kind of hook it through the back side of that shoe. And then we're going to use the side cutters again to kind of pull this together and hopefully hook it in place. Trying to give you guys a little decent view of this, but need to get it on there just a little further. It's still not actually all the way in there. There we go. Well, that looks good down there. Kind of reset these a little bit. After everything's reasonably lined up, you want to make sure you put this retainer back on here, or spacer, guide, or whatever they want to call it. And then I'm going to take one of the top springs, and we're going to start with this end because this is the last one that we took off. And I'm just using a standard screwdriver, a really skinny one, to kind of, now I'm going to hold the shoe, and I'm just going to try and get the spring to slide down by prying it out like this, right onto that peg there. And then the same kind of method on this side. Get that spring back through there, get the hooked end through the screwdriver, and no need to be rushed here because it can slip off just like that. You want to have some control. You can even move this a little bit just to give us a little space there. It's a little bit more difficult because the angle is different and the opening is on the top side. Just like that. They look good. And then once you're back all together, you want to take a good look with the light and make sure everything's seated properly, everything is landing where it should, and that there's no, space or gaps, because any kind of problem like that is going to restrict the rotor from actually going on, and trying to force it on or whatever can crack the shoes. So you want to make sure you have a really good look at everything and make sure it's all fully seated. So I'm ready to pretty much go back together here. I'm going to have to do a little bit of adjusting probably to get that rotor line up really well so the parking brake works awesome. But that is how you re your parking brake assembly on a Honda Ridgeline. Now, to be perfectly honest, this type of video isn't really what I enjoy creating. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass working around the camera and getting my lighting all proper so you can see what I'm actually doing. But I know how helpful these videos are and they make a big difference. They bring in a lot of views for the channel, so I'm glad that I went ahead and did it. I still got things to go back together, so I'm going to jump on that and get all that done. But if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, share this video out, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.